Would you like to bring a street scene onto paper in a realistic and dramatic way? Today, we're going to draw a New York street using three-point perspective. But before we begin, let's talk a little bit about what three-point perspective actually is. Three-point perspective is mostly used for drawing tall buildings, cityscapes, bird's eye views, or worm's eye views. In this type of perspective, there are three vanishing points, one on the left, one on the right, and the third either above or below. So how does it work? If you're looking down at a building, a bird's eye view, the third vanishing point is below the horizon. Vertical lines converge downward, making the buildings appear to recede and taper toward that lower point. If you're looking up at a building, a worm's eye view, the third vanishing point is above the horizon. Vertical lines converge upward, making skyscrapers seem to soar dramatically into the sky. Now, what makes it different? In one-point perspective, there's only depth in one direction. In two-point perspective, depth goes in two directions, usually from a corner view. But in three-point perspective, you get depth in both directions and vertically as well, which creates a much more realistic and dramatic effect. Making skyscrapers seem to soar dramatically into the sky. And that's exactly the effect we'll create today as we draw our New York street scene together. My first building has started to take shape. Once the basic guidelines are in place, I slowly begin to mark the positions of details like doors, windows, and columns. This building has been here for more than 100 years, and since it has a classical architectural style, it comes with more details. But trust me, every little detail will add more realism and life to our drawing. Now that the details of my first building are complete, I can move on to the others. The buildings in the background won't take as much effort as the one in the foreground, I can assure you. I quickly sketched the outlines of the remaining buildings. On the left side, I'm adding new buildings across the street, and you can already see the street beginning to form in the middle. Always make sure each line leads back to one of the vanishing points. Three-point perspective may look complicated at first, but as you grasp the logic and keep practicing, everything becomes easier and more enjoyable. On the right side, I place more buildings. And in the open space, a new street starts to appear. After completing the buildings, I outlined the sidewalks. To bring the street to life, I draw a few parked cars. Remember, even the cars need to follow the perspective. Once the basic sketch is finished, I go over the lines with my .2 technical pen to make them clear and strong. After that, I erase the pencil marks left underneath. Now we're left with clean, sharp lines. From this stage, I can use hatching techniques with the same 0.2 pen to add texture, light, and shadow effects. Pay attention to where the light is coming from. In my drawing, the light is hitting from the top right side of the street. Finally, with the last touches, I complete my drawing. Thank you so much for watching. Your support means a lot to me for continuing these drawings. Take care and see you next time.